Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening for this event, the opening of this very powerful exhibit here at the McAllen Heritage Center. My name is Xochitl Mora. I'll serve as your MC for today's ceremony. If you'll please help me welcome from the Catholic Charities of the Rio Grande Valley, our own Sister Norma Pimentel for an invocation.
Buenas tardes a todos. Thank you. Let us join me in prayer. Together we pray. Almighty and merciful God, as we gather here today, we lift our hearts to you in prayer. We come before you with hearts mindful of the countless individuals who are victims of human trafficking around the world. Grant us the strength and the courage to be steadfast advocates for justice, compassion, and freedom. Bless this event with wisdom and insight, that through our collective efforts, we may bring an end to this modern-day slavery. Guide our discussions, our time together, that unites us in the common cause of eradicating human trafficking from our communities and beyond. May your love and grace empower us to be beacons of hope and agents of change. As we ask this for your protection over those who are vulnerable and exploited, and for healing for those who have suffered. May your divine light shine upon them, offering comfort and solace in their darkest moments. Grant us the determination to work tirelessly until every person is free from chains of exploitation. Strengthen our resolve to uphold the inherent dignity and worth of every human being. We offer this prayer in the name of all those affected by human trafficking, and in the hope of a future where justice, love, and freedom prevails. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Norma, for that beautiful invocation. Before we begin today's ceremony, I would like to recognize all of our honored guests who are here joining us this afternoon, starting with the Honorable Joaquin J.J. Zamora, Commissioner, District 2. From the City of McAllen, our City Manager, Mr. Roy Rodriguez. And our Retail and Business Development Director, Ms. Rebecca Olaguibel. From the McAllen Chamber of Commerce, we have our President and CEO, Ms. Elizabeth Suarez. And of course, we have all of our supporters of the McAllen Heritage Center and the exhibit today, starting with, of course, Elva Cerda, the Executive Director, who we'll hear from later this afternoon. John Kreidler, Board President of the McAllen Heritage Center, and all of the board members here with McAllen Heritage Center Board. We'll also be hearing from Ms. Tracy Hughes, who is the Executive Director of Tamar's Tapestry. As well as Ms. Annette Franz, the Zonta Club of West Hidalgo County, who is a sponsor of today's exhibit. And all of you who are joining us here this afternoon, thank you so much for your presence and your support of this wonderful organization here and this very, very important exhibit that we have here in our community. To tell us about the importance of the McAllen Heritage Center and its contributions to our community, please help me welcome the Honorable Joaquin J.J. Zamora.
Thank you, Xochitl. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of our Mayor Villalobos, who could not join us today, he extends best regards and warmest wishes. And on behalf of the Board of the City of McAllen, we appreciate you being here today for this open house. And again, a very warm welcome to all who are present here today, for all our visitors, guests, and distinguished guests here on this special occasion of this open house. It is certainly an honor to be joined by everyone here today. Everyone who not only sees the value and importance of museums, but also who is here to take in and help spread the message of this very important exhibit. Thank you for making an investment in our own history museum, the McAllen Heritage Center. Museums are critical to our society and to creating a community, whether it be in a display of a shared past, a look at critical ongoing issues, or a vibrant display of the future of our own very city. We thank you very much to Elva Cerda and the vision of her staff and her board members of this McAllen Heritage Center. We are accomplishing that with today's event and every display and every event here at McAllen's History Museum. The City of McAllen is not proud, but very proud to be associated with the McAllen Heritage Center, displaying a vibrant cultural history and wonderful and celebrating the past of our colored history of our City of McAllen. Thank you again for bringing this very important exhibit of an ongoing and continuous tragedy that continues to be part of our American history and the history of this world. We thank you for the work that you've done and done every day to preserve the history. Please keep it up. And to everyone else, please bring your family and friends to this cultured space to appreciate what McAllen once was, to better navigate our future and what will become of our city of McAllen. May God bless you and take care. Amen.
Thank you, Commissioner. Indeed, yes, our McAllen Heritage Center does serve an important purpose in helping to tell the story of McAllen and to talk about the partnership that exists between the City of McAllen and the McAllen Heritage Center. Please help me welcome our City Manager, Mr. Roy Rodriguez.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here. You know, I was just in an event down the street in another building, and we were talking about how truly blessed we are to live in this amazing community we call McAllen. You know, to be able to have a facility like the one that we're here standing and sitting and this building behind us, it gives us such an opportunity to appreciate all that McAllen has brought to our community and its history. And I really want to thank also Elva and her board. Think about this. We cannot run this city without the hundreds and hundreds of people that volunteer to help us do it. So for that, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of the work that you do. And then especially when we have an exhibit like the one we have today, you know, as JJ said, you know, it's such a tragedy that we have to continue to talk about this terrible happening that happens all around us. But it's reality, and it's people like you that can make a difference in this world to make that better. I want to thank all of the people that are involved in trying to put an end to that, including our police department, my police officer standing here, Vigil, and everyone that defends our liberties. Thank you so, so much for being here and for all that you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. It certainly does take a community to help combat this issue of human trafficking. To talk about the vision that the McAllen Heritage Center Board has for our community, please help me welcome Board President, Mr. John Kreidler.
Thank you. Do you have my script?
I don't. I forgot it.
Well, okay then. This is the first time I've had a chance publicly to say that I'm not a biker. I have a bobo, and so I wear this to cover it up so you're not too grossed out. But being board president of this illustrious museum is really fantastic. Elva has really worked hard to get it to where it is today, and we're very proud of this exhibit that you're going to see tonight. That's one of the things we've been working on, is not something static, but something that we can get from some other museums or around the country, bring them in for our families here in McAllen to come and see and enjoy, and then send it on for someone else to do that. And she's really been working hard at getting these moving exhibits. So I'm very proud of it. I like working with her because she talks to me really nicely and takes care of me. So I appreciate all of y'all coming. We want you to bring your families to see the museum. We want you to enjoy the hard work that everybody has done to get it to where it is today. And I am looking forward to seeing you all there. I can't be there tonight, but I will be there some of the other times. So thank you again for being here. It really warms my heart to see so many of you out here in this hot weather that we're having. Oh, warm weather, okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kreidler, and for $20, I would have given you the script. The McAllen Heritage Center is the vibrant place that it is because of the vision and passion of its director, Ms. Elva Sadada. Please help me welcome her to tell us about this exhibit.
Thank you, Sochi. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to be here. Finally got to this day. We have been waiting for this exhibit. That's a traveling exhibit from the Bob Bullock Museum in Austin. For 2 years, we got in line because it travels. It's so important. And we were so happy when we finally got a date, and it's going to be here for a month. I wish we could keep it longer because people need to know about human trafficking and what is going on with it and how it surrounds us, and we don't even know it. We're not aware about it. So I'm very happy to have our board here. We're very blessed to have John Kreidler, who went through a health crisis, and it looks like he's back to health. And so hopefully he'll be back at the chamber doing his jokes, guys, at the Good Day Luncheon. So anyway, I want to recognize Dr. Nedra Knurk, one of our board members. John David Franz is somewhere here, who joined our board. Bill Stalker is here, okay. And several board members were out of town. Our museum staff, I can't say enough about them. A lot of them are here and many are still inside because we're going to have a wonderful reception. We invite each of you to come inside afterwards. Here, we're at the museum, we're here all year long telling the story about McAllen's history. So important because where we come from is who we are today. I mean, we've always been a vibrant city and we're trailblazers in this city, and we have visionaries and wonderful leaders, and we have them today too. But it's our responsibility to also bring in other exhibits that tell you about other issues that may be going on or people that have been impactful. And those is what we call traveling exhibits. That also keeps our museum fresh, vibrant, and relevant, okay? Because certainly our history is vibrant and relevant, but we want to bring in issues such as this because we consider it our responsibility to teach about these issues. And human trafficking is something that's really not known. I had a visit with Tracy Hughes earlier, who's an advocate and an authority on it. And boy, we don't understand a lot about it. And so she's going to be here to help us with that. So I also wanted to take some time to thank, as we talked about this with friends throughout the community, I was so happy to have the Zonta Club of West Hidalgo County reach out and offer their support and sponsor the exhibit, which when you're a nonprofit, I guess you all know it's hard, and so anytime you get something like that, it's wonderful. And so they not only offered their monetary, but they also gave us all of their support, and they also brought Tracy Hughes to us today, and I'm so happy to have her here because she's going to also help us enlighten everyone about that. So thank you. I'd like all the Zonta people here to please raise their hands. And Ms. Annette Franz, thank you also, because she was at the forefront of bringing them to us. So again, I just want to thank everyone. When you come inside, go through the panels. They're in English and Spanish, and just read through them. They're very educational. We also have some videos, and we will also have Tracy here. So before I pass it along, I just wanted to thank the City of McAllen, as always, Roy and the leadership at the city, Commissioner JJ, and all the commissioners for your support all the time for this museum. We can't do it alone. We can't do it without you. And the same goes for the organization of this event today. I give kudos to Xochitl, who is so kind and so easy to work with, Rebecca Olagabel, a good friend, and also She's just an amazing person and so wonderful to work with and always so supportive. Thank you, Rebecca. So, Sara y Garcia, Parks and Rec, was supposed to be here, but their work is so evident, and they're such a wonderful department for the city of McAllen. So, and last but not least, Liz and her team with the McAllen Chamber of Commerce, thank you for your support, and then we're happy to be chamber members and will continue to be and supportive of the chamber. So a big round of applause to all our supporters, the Zonta Club, everybody that's here, city manager, commissioners. Thank you all for your support of the McAllen Heritage Center.
Thank you, Elba, for your leadership, and the City of McAllen is again, of course, proud to be associated and partner with the McAllen Heritage Center. This exhibit is a powerful exhibit, as we have been talking about, but to tell us what human trafficking means to us as human beings, please help me welcome from Tomorrow's Tapestry, Tracy Hughes. Okay, that's okay. Please help me welcome from the Zonta Club of West Hidalgo County, Ms. Annette Franz, who the Zonta Club is a sponsor of the exhibit.
Thank you, Xochitl. Before I begin, I'd also like to recognize Rosie Martinez, who just arrived from the DA's office, who plays a vital role in our community and also with the human trafficking as well. Thank you for being here, Rosie. Thank you, Elva, and the city and everyone here today. I am honored to be here on behalf of the members of our Zonta Club. I'm going to ask them one more time to raise their hand. I am not here alone. There are several of you here. We are honored to be a part of this very important exhibit that brings awareness to our community of the horrors and magnitude of human trafficking around us. So often, it is women who are trafficked. Zonta is a global organization whose mission is one of empowering women. We fulfill this mission when we support programs that offer hope and a better world for women and girls. We were founded in 1947. Zonta envisions a world in which women's rights are recognized as human rights and every woman is able to achieve her full potential. In such a world, no woman would live in fear of violence or oppression. Human trafficking is real, and it's around us. We are here to support those who work diligently to identify victims and human trafficking operations and to provide support to those who have suffered. Again, the Zonta Club of Hidalgo County is honored to play a small role in bringing this exhibit to our community. Thank you. We are pleased to have this individual, Tracy Hughes, to speak this afternoon. Tracy is a dedicated advocate in the fight against child sexual exploitation and human trafficking. Allow me to share some history on her and her work. Tracy Hughes works with Tomorrow's Tapestry, a global organization which focuses on combating human trafficking and supporting survivors. Tomorrow's Tapestry assists law enforcement in rescue efforts and provides aftercare to those affected by exploitation. Although the organization prioritizes in children, it also works to liberate anyone suffering in the hands of traffickers. The team collaborates with international partners to combat sex trafficking and against sexual exploitation. Team members include highly experienced former law enforcement personnel, intelligence experts, U.S. diplomats, military officers who actively investigate cases worldwide. Beyond rescue operations, Tracy's work extends to aftercare services for survivors. Her organization provides person-centered services to support survivors and their healing journey. In terms of advocacy, Tracy Hughes is part of the committed team leading Operation Underground Railroad. As a recognized expert, she advocates for anti-trafficking initiatives and speaks to corporate philanthropy. Her background includes involvement in policy changing, multi-million-dollar fundraising efforts, and servicing on national boards. Tracy Hughes and her colleagues are making a significant impact in the fight against human trafficking. She works tirelessly and ensures safety and justice for all survivors. Please help me welcome Tracy Hughes. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me this afternoon. And first of all, I want to thank the center and for Zonta specifically for bringing awareness of human trafficking and for bringing this exhibit here. It's wonderful. There's never enough in the fight of education and getting people awareness of what the basics are to look for and just what it is in general, just overall education of what human trafficking is. So what I want to ask is, everyone has a picture of what human trafficking looks like. And most of us have a picture of someone in slavery. Many times it's a little girl that's been abducted, taken from her home. And the truth is, less than 1% are actually abducted. That means 99% know they're exploiters. So there's different types of human trafficking. Under the realm of human trafficking, you have two veins.
Get closer to the mic.
Okay, is that better? Okay. Under the realm of human trafficking, you have two veins. You have sex trafficking and labor trafficking. And so you may be a little bit confused about what those are, but they both go under the heading of human trafficking. And the organization that I have helped found deals specifically with sex trafficking, that part of the human trafficking realm. But I want to talk a little bit about what human trafficking looks like in the Rio Grande Valley, because that's what we live every day. So we have what everyone has globally, which is our normal, what you call normal, even though it's not. Young girls that are being trafficked in school by boyfriends. We have familial trafficking that is going on. We have girls that have been imported here for sexual-oriented businesses that have been brought here that we have cases for. And then we have our immigrant population. So where you have all of that, you have vulnerability with what's going on at the border. And so it looks different in the Valley than it looks in Dallas, and it looks different in Dallas than it does in Budapest and in Kenya, Africa. It's very different according to the specific location that you're at. But there's one very, very common theme that runs through it, and that is the exploitation of the vulnerable. But I also want to say, we know that there are vulnerable survivors that have survived this, but we are also producing the traffickers. We're producing both out of our communities and out of our schools. So in order for prevention, we not only have to deal with the survivor end of it, we have to deal prevention-wise before we ever get there on the exploiter side also. Now, I know we have law enforcement. I can guarantee you they would much rather we deal with it before it ever happens than when they have to go after someone who has actually trafficked a person. So the average 12-year-old, and again, the Valley is no different than the rest of the United States, spends a total of 8 hours per day screen time. 8 hours per day. Now, I just gave you the statistic that 1%, less than 1%, are abducted by kidnappers. But on the online world, it flips. 92% do not know who their traffickers are and who will send that. So the statistics switch online. Many times I'm asked why. Why is it happening and why can't they get out? And so I've asked several of the survivors that I've had the privilege of speaking with, what could I have said in that interview? What could I have said in that at that point that would have made you change your mind? And one of the survivors told me the most significant point, I will never forget it. She said, all I know is I have one question on my mind, and that is, do you have more power than he does? And if I don't believe that you has more power than what he does, I'm not talking. That is why they don't run. They also don't self-identify as a victim. Many times they don't, it takes years before they, oh, that's what happened to me. Oh, I didn't realize there was a name that you called it. They understood what was happening to them, but they did not label themselves as a sex trafficking victim. You will not hear of stories, or if it's ever happened that I don't know of, where they come running up to the police officer and go, help me, I'm a sex trafficking victim and I need help. That's just doesn't happen. They don't come forward with it. And many of the general public do not understand why. Why can't you just walk away? Why can't you just get out? And so that is one of the reasons, is a power issue. I told you that the average 12-year-old spends 8 hours a day. The number one is college girls, and they spend 10 to 12 hours a day on their cell phones with screen time. That is a lot of screen time and a lot of traffickers having direct access to our kids. I'm also asked when I go and speak, what can I do? I hear you, I understand what the problem is. What can I do as an individual? And number one is what is happening today, advocacy. Absolutely huge in preventing human trafficking. Learn the signs, figure out what it is on how you can help. But the number one thing that I have people do, and this is a very practical thing to do, is to get out your cell phone, and if you've got your cell phones with you, get out your cell phone, and I'm going to give you the National Human Trafficking Hotline number to have it in your phone. So when you see something, you will call it immediately. You can call in anonymously. What happens if someone even suspects something, by the time they get home, by the time many things have happened, what was the name of that? What was the number of that organization again? And you cannot remember. So I want you to have it at your fingertips. So if you see something, you can say something. And I'm going to give you that number. Are we ready? This is the number for the National Hotline Trafficking number. So it's 1-888-373-7888. 1-888-373-7888. A couple of years ago, I had the privilege of working on a film called Surviving Sex Trafficking, and I got to travel around the world with some survivors while we were producing this film and interview survivors around the world. And that film is about their journeys and what it takes on the other side to come out of it. Those statistics are also low. Less than 1% get out and make it to the other side. It's a very, very difficult, hard, long journey for the survivors that come through. But I learned a lot on that journey. And one of the things that I learned was from my roommate, who was a survivor herself. And we happened to be in Budapest, and there were 4 men walking on a street. And they were actually against a car as we were walking on the street. And she had the most interesting reaction. And so this is what I want to explain about what human trafficking looks like that you don't normally think. When a woman normally walks by a group of men and they start catcalling her, the first thing that she does is this invisible shield goes up and you are like repelled by it. You push your hand, like it's a visible physical signs that you are repulsed by it or you're repelling that advancement. But my survivor roommate walked right over to them and walked right to them to talk to them. And she was drawn to that. When we got back to the room that night, I was amazed when she came back and told me what had happened. I was amazed. That's just not normal women behavior. And when we got back, she said, Tracy, I teach this. I'm on the other side. I'm a sane nurse. I teach law enforcement about what to look for. And in that very moment, it presented itself by those men as an opportunity. And she said, even though I know what's on the other side of that, it presented itself like an opportunity to me. And I almost got in the car with them. And so I was shocked by that. I learned so much from her on that trip. So this is not an easy fix. It's not something that you just take them out of the situation, and it's not something that, that they're not going to deal with for struggle on and on for the rest of their life. But As a community, we can wrap our arms around the survivors. As a community, we can come together and learn the signs and help prevent it. As a community, we can wrap our arms around those that are in it and try and figure out and identify who needs help, and we will be there when they need help. So the exhibit inside is a basic overview and education of what human trafficking is. Please take your time, read through it. It has some QR codes that you can scan and go in a little bit deeper and do a deeper dive for some of the stories of the women that are in there. So please take your time and enjoy the exhibit. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you, McAllen, for bringing this down here, and the Zonta Club for educating our community on human trafficking. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy, for all of that information and for sharing your experiences with some of the survivors of human trafficking. Thank you all so much for being here for this press conference. Please join us inside so that you can view the exhibit yourself and for some refreshments. Thank you all, and continue to support the McAllen Heritage Center. Thank you so much.